Hey, I got it.
So, so what do you think happened since you now just rewatched me watching it? There's a lot that you
Yeah,
probably were able to see just by watching it again.
I had no idea Naga was at the Ancients. That surprised me, because I assumed she was bottom. I had the ward there, and I remember looking at the mini map but not seeing an icon
Hmm.
on the mini map, so I just assumed, oh, she's bottom somewhere in the bottom jungle.
Yeah.
And nobody would call out, no, Medusa's missing from here.
Well, I mean, the only reason why I think talking to you will be the best benefit rather than talking to Civ or Draco is you were the highest MMR probably of any of the players on that team.
Yeah.
That would have been my thoughts at least.
Yeah, I was kind of making calls. I was the one who said go Roche. I thought we had a lot more damage than we did, but
But you can't always think about it as the type of damage that you have, but you also need to think about the sustainability that you have.
yeah,
And granted, the Witch Doctor does give a great amount of sustainability to your team. Um,
I wasn't
the
even
damage
using
really
it.
wasn't there. Yeah, no, because you went a heavy Maledict build, which I have personally done a very comparable build as yourselves, going like a 204 build to just kind of maximize my early damage output. But you still got to follow up with Cask, maxing out Cask. You gotta max that guy out. Absolutely. Think about it. If you get your Cask off on two heroes, only two heroes, that is a 4 second stun.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, it's easy to overlook something like that, but it's a 4 second stun if it bounces between two heroes back and forth, or even like a creep in a hero. It'll be a 4 second stun on the hero, and it'll be what will equate to like a 9 second stun on the creep, because it
right,
just refreshes the stun. Because on creeps it does a 5 second stun. So it would do 5 and then it would dissipate 1, but then it would restart at 5 and then restart at 5 and then restart at 5, so it would end up being um, an 8 second stun, I think. 7, 8, whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't
yeah,
matter. It would be 8 second stun.
yeah. I should have more points in it, but the reason why I put so many points in Maledict was because I wanted to play hyper aggressive with Spear Breaker.
No, and I get that. I understand the reason why you went so high in Maledict. I don't think that was so much of a problem. I just think that you really weren't able to do your max output with like the healing ward as well, because your first instinct in a lot of these fights was to throw your healing ward on, but there was at least 3 fights where you had used too much of your healing ward so that you weren't able to use your ultimate, and you would have still lived if you had not used your healing.
Right.
Yeah,
And the Death Ward could have turned the fight.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the another thing I thought about was that our team didn't have any BKBs. I don't know if Naga doesn't build BKB, but Spearbreaker and Kunkka probably could have gotten a BKB. Um, I think if we did have BKBs, the optimal fight would be to throw Disruptor ulti on Dusa so she can't ulti, and then BKB through Earthshaker, Sven, and Sand King's,
Yeah,
stuns
yeah,
and
and
whatnot.
then also Untouchable wouldn't affect them as well while attacking Enchantress.
Right. That was
Um,
something else that I think we could have itemized better.
that could have definitely been a thing that your team could have done to like directly impact your game's outcome. You do need to consider that Medusa got plenty of full stone gazes off in this game, turning people to stone. And if they BKB and get stone gazed, it breaks the BKB and turns them to stone anyway.
Right. Okay.
Granted, if you are in stone form, you are still 100% magic immune. But the way that these fights broke out was like Medusa had just started using her ult, then came the stuns or the Echo Slam, then the Stone Gaze came full circle, and then they were turned to stone, and then Medusa was just able to go ham at that point.
Right. Or even using Naga Song. We tried it a few times to disengage from the Dusa ulti, but it was just miscommunication because he was using it to disengage, and we were like, okay, we're gonna set up and turn the fight.
You,
I think it would have been a good idea to do both. Just use the Naga ulti to wait out for the Dusa ulti to run out, and then reposition and re-engage. I think that would have been better fighting, but it was all kind of like half-assing. Oh, we want to fight. Oh, we want to run away.
No, I get that, and your team needs to commit to something. That's
Right.
it. You need to commit to something. There could have been a little bit better usage of staggering some of these like spells and the spell usage too. Like Draco could have, for instance, used his ultimate like a half second or something before the Naga song ended, so that he wouldn't have to worry about the possibility of the enemy team blinking out of it because they'd already be taking damage. You know, as soon as like the crossover went, there wouldn't have been an opportunity for them to blink or anything like that.
Right.
They would just already be taking damage. Same sort of thing that he could have done with the kinetic field too. And I think he tried to do that with the kinetic field, but it was much more of the ultimate being more important in that sort of situation. And it also gives you the opportunity to put the ultimate down on like the epiphany of what the epicenter of where it should be placed, because if you have it dropped on the hero and the hero is directly in the center of the hero, then you're maximizing the amount of time it'll take for the hero to get to the end, so it gives you time then to drop a kinetic field on top of it too. So that's just the other way that you could kind of play that out. I'm unshaven. Anyway, yeah, you were saying?
I was also wondering about the draft too, because it was 5-man all pick, so it works like ranked all pick.
Oh, this was an in-house?
Yeah, it was 5-man stack. I don't know what the pick order was, but maybe a better diffusal blade carrier or an anti-mage. I was thinking Ricky would have been good, because he can smoke on Medusa and then mana burn and all that good stuff.
I would have liked to have a Wind Ranger instead of a Kunkka.
Middle?
Yeah.
What does Wind Ranger build? Diffusal? That works on her?
Hey, think about it. Diffusal Ags on Medusa, you're dead. Good luck. It's not a it's not like a typical pickup, but it's really strong. And also just like the added lockdown benefit of her would have been so good in your game, because the type of lockdown that the Kunkka was providing just was inefficient. And you know, the damage output of the Kunkka could have been huge, but for some reason he went second item MKB, which is just a general flat damage, which is bad. And no one on the enemy team even has anything that's in the sense of going towards any evasion items. I mean, maybe Medusa would have as like a 5th or 6th item, but it just wasn't there. Yeah, Wind Ranger does just melt Medusa. You may not even necessarily need the diffusal, depending on the damage items on the Wind Ranger. That's a very valid point. I think the Naga could have been split pushing much more efficiently too. And the boots of travel, getting that like at 40 plus minutes was making my heart ache. I don't know.
Yeah, it should come after Radiance immediately.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he used these drum charges really early in a couple instances, not like good opportunities, but I don't ever think he used any of the diffusal charges. I can't validate this because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know
but
if he did.
I don't think he did.
But yeah, I think itemization and then some of those Roche calls were the right thing. Maybe if I had gone for, instead of being greedy and going Ags, if I had gotten, what's it called, Medallion, I think Roche would have died.
Yeah, you definitely could have done it much quicker. And honestly, a Medallion into a Solar Crest would have been a great pickup for you in this game, because of Medusa.
Will that make her miss?
Yeah.
All the split shot too?
Well, the primary attack.
Oh, okay. And then everybody else takes reduced damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to read about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna double checking miss chance and split shot how that interacts because Dota's a crazy fucking game like that.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, secondary arrows travel at the same speed as the original attack and can be disjointed. They also can miss on evasion.
Huh. Wow, that would have been the item.
The extra arrows are released at the same time as their primary is released. That when your attack misses, your arrows are still released, but there's miss chance then applied to them.
That would have been the item, I think.
Yeah, that could have been really good. If not on Medusa, then on whoever the most important person on your team is.
Right. Could have been the Spirit Breaker, because he was always the first one in.
Yeah. Well, that's a good item to get on. I think Medallion Spirit Breaker can be good. I've done it a few times when I played roaming Spirit Breakers, because I also play him as like a roaming roll 6 Spirit Breaker, where I buy all the wards because I place the wards because I want to be able to charge where I want to. And I end up having like the most deaths on the team, and I'll be the lowest level, but will win just because of like the ridiculous amount of space that I'll make. And I mean that in a sense that I die a lot, sometimes inappropriately, but I build space, allowing my team to take towers and other shit like that, taking bad fights and stuff like that. So I definitely think Solar Crest would have been a good item for you to get in that game. Potentially before the Aghanims, but at the same time, if you got it before the Aghanims, you could have still ended up getting the Aghanims at around the same time that you got the Aghanims at, because it would have expedited your farm. Also, you can use the medallion to cast on creeps or ancient creeps, and you can then farm them with your right click. You can farm jungle pretty well after you have negative armor on them and you're a ranged character, so you can just then manipulate the leashing mechanics and just hit them, they chase you, hit them as they're running back to the base, or the camp, and, rinse and repeat.
Right. Yeah, I think item builds were a big thing in this game. We could have closed out sooner if we had built the right items.
I think so. I think all of these Shadow Blades were kind of silly. That rushed Silver Edge on Spirit Breaker that really didn't amount to anything, I don't know. Like, I don't get that.
Right. Well, I don't think he ever played Spirit Breaker, because I remember he kept asking, what do I build next? What do I build next? I don't play Spirit Breaker. I couldn't tell him what to build. I said maybe Mask of Madness, but that's so YOLO.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's have him go Mask of Madness into a Medusa. Sounds like a great idea.
Okay, more bashes.
Yeah.
17%. But yeah, I'll